Yeah.
Alright, today we'll be talking about restaurant management. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Justin Torres. I'm currently a frontline manager at the Cheesecake Factory in Boca Raton, Florida. I've been in the position now for 5 years. So I want to start off with asking who's thinking about going into operating their own restaurant or possibly being a manager in a restaurant? Anybody? Okay, we got one. If not, then at least I can give you guys some guidelines or some tasks to maybe perform. So first up, opportunities and qualifications. I picked two. I picked frontline manager, which I am, and I picked general manager. There's several other opportunities, but I want to pick the lowest and the highest. Frontline manager is pretty much going to be entry level, little experience to no experience. General manager is going to be someone who is well experienced, several years in the business, and relative qualifications. Now, some of the qualifications I wanted to go over were education and experience. Right now, I'm going to talk about education. Right now, I think high school diploma is definitely going to be required in most situations. While you don't really need to go to college, but it's definitely going to give you an upper edge on the competition. If you're thinking about going to college for restaurant management, you're going to be willing to look at business management or some kind of hospitality management. Work experience is probably going to be the biggest thing. If you're going to apply for maybe a restaurant that has one location, mom and pop, you might not need that much experience to no experience, or you can maybe get into an entry level as a server or something, work your way up. When you're going to be applying for like Cheesecake Factory, Chili, something that has several locations, you're definitely going to need to have at least maybe 2 years experience minimum for them to even qualify you for. Yeah. And then one of the major tasks that you'll be performing as a restaurant manager is human resources. Now, obviously, as a frontline manager, your subordinates are going to be servers, barista, bartenders, and stuff. So what you're going to have to be dealing with is controlling conflicts. There's always going to be situations where your subordinates are going to butt heads. You got to make sure that you can go and read the situation and you can deal with it calmly, so that it doesn't escalate into something where someone's going to get fired or there's something bad's going to happen when you have to call the cops. You also need to manage scheduling. Most of the time in the restaurant business, it's not going to be 9 to 5. You're going to give your availability, and you're either going to be working daytime, nighttime. It's going to always be flexible, so you have to have flexible shifts. You have to make sure that you are reading the accommodations for your staff. Maybe some of them are going to school, so you need to make sure that you consider that. But you also need to make sure that you have proper staff on hand for the rushes and stuff. You need to manage egos. Dealing in the restaurant business, there's going to be tons of people that have different backgrounds, different qualifications, different experience. To make sure that the people that, even if you have a well-experienced person, that they are understanding that this is a team effort and that not one person is better than the other person just because you're more qualified. You need to be able to motivate your team. As the frontline manager, you're organizing your team, and you need to give them motivation. If they're in the weeds, as we call it, when you're overwhelmed, a busy day, you need to make sure that you're going next to them, you're helping them out, you're motivating them, pushing them on for success. You need to be able to organize staff. As the frontline manager, you are creating floor charts. You need to make sure that you are telling them, this is your section, you'll be taking care of this, because without you, they're going to be all over the place. You also need to assign responsibilities. You need to make, for example, the shift leaders. Those are the servers that are going to be basically assigning side work and making sure everything is running smoothly. The next one is customer relations, which in hospitality is probably the biggest and most important thing. Now, I put for the first one is accommodations, in the sense of where there's maybe a few problems with the food or something for the customer. Most of the times, if it's like undercooked or something, the server in the kitchen are always able to fix it. But at times when it escalates and becomes more and more problems, you need to be able to step in. I put discounts and comps at first. Maybe you can discount the meal. You can maybe take the burger off or something like that. Second one was free food, offer soup, offer dessert. And then the third one was coupons. And what I mean by this is like, if you come back, if you buy a meal, you can get free dessert. And this is, I think, probably one of the best ones, because this is actually going to give them an incentive to come back. If you give someone a free dessert right there, you may make them happier, but they may not come back next time. And if you give them a coupon, they might actually come back. The second one is building on loyal customers. If you create some kind of reward program that if you continuously come and you get like a punch or something, they can maybe build up points to get free incentives, appetizers, etc. The next one is, of course, providing excellent and consistent service while maintaining high quality in food. You want to make sure that your food quality is always going to be at its most highest, and that your service is always going to be consistent, because you don't want to go to a restaurant where you don't know whether you're going to have good service or not that day. Next one is going to be supplies. Inventory management. Very crucial to make sure that you have all your food supplies. Obviously with specials, you're going to be limited amounts, but you don't want to be running out of chicken and stuff during the main rushes. want to make sure you have those, you have a good grasp on how much inventory you have so you can accommodate for the guests. Make sure you have proper cleaning supplies, because if you run out of cleaning supplies, it can cause the whole back of the house become messy. You're going to have problems with health inspections. You want to make sure you keep on top of that. You also want to make sure that your equipment, I use example here is Pinnacle. Pinnacle is what the front of the house uses to take orders, send it to the kitchen, take payment on them. So it basically organizes everything and helps the whole front of the house move smoothly. You want to make sure that Pinnacle is working right. You want to make sure all your equipment in the front is working right. You want to make sure that your kitchen equipment and your bar equipment is going also efficient and well, because if anything breaks down during the rush, it's going to create a lot of problems, and you want to make sure that it's also at its highest capacity so that it can continuously be efficiently working. Some KSOs, you need to know how to deal with angry customers, be able to keep a cool head even when they're screaming at you. You need to be able to know when to discount meals and when to just apologize. In this industry, a lot of people are very quick to start discounting meals and stuff as a manager. In most situations, all you have to do is apologize and they'll be okay. You need to have good people skills, obviously, dealing with a lot of customers and even with your staff. You want to make sure that you have proper skills. You want to have good problem solving, because most of the time you're going to have a lot of situations where you have to solve problems immediately and you don't have time to break it down and deal with it, so you got to be thinking on the fly. You have to have the ability to organize people, and I put floor chart like I mentioned earlier. You need to be able to organize your staff and tell them who's responsible for what. You need to be able to work flexible and strenuous schedules. As a manager, most of the time you're not going to have 9 to 5 also. It's going to be very long hours, very strenuous, constantly changing. Maybe one day you're up late at work and the next morning you're in early. You must be able to manage inventory. Like I said, you don't want to run out of inventory during rushes. And some other characteristics that may be useful would be knowing another language. Here in South Florida, maybe if you know Spanish, it'll give you upper edge. In conclusion, I just want to recall some of the main points that I want you guys to take home with you. It's going to be, this career is definitely going to require long hours. You have to be flexible. It's not going to be something that you can just do 9 to 5 and have something else on the side. You're also going to have strong people skills, because you're dealing with customers, and you're going to have strong organization skills and managing your staff. And the last thing I want to say is you must be able to communicate efficiently with your customers and your staff, and respect you also, because you do not want to be communicating with a customer and they're getting something different than what you want them to perceive. And also with the staff, you want to make sure you respect them, you're fair to them, so that they actually want to work for you and they don't want to they don't care about their job. So thank you guys, and I'll open for questions now.
I'm also like in the service industry. Like, how do you personally deal with situations when you know, like, for sure the customer is not right and that they're like very wrong? So you can't say that.
Yeah, obviously there's several situations when the customer maybe would tell the wrong order or something like that. You have to just remain calm and understand that they are the customer, and that you want to make sure that even though you know they're wrong, that you can still meet some kind of accommodation to make them happy so they'll continue coming back. Anyone else?
What would you say the most challenging part of the restaurant industry is?
Most challenging? Probably
Absolutely.
making sure that your staff and everything is maintaining high quality, making sure that they are constantly, because obviously people have problems, and sometimes they bring their problems to work. You want to make sure that in the hospitality business, you have to continuously be smiling, be happy, creating a warm environment, so you have to make sure that your staff is constantly holding that, even if the whole house is falling apart and everything like that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.